A Day in My Life, Saturday, July 24, 2010. Allison Brown Sirleaf. Hi, my name is Liberian Butterfly and I live in Lomé, Togo, a remote, poor, third world African nation. You may respond by saying, that's not news. In some ways you are right, but it has taken me 4 years to learn that Togo is not just another underdeveloped country. Lomé is a city of isolated beauty, a city of contrast. Tall coconut palms serve as an unofficial barrier between the beach and the major highway that stretches from the Ghanaian border to the Benin border. The Atlantic Ocean teases the trees by allowing its foamy waves to gamut to and fro on the yellow sand, occasionally quenching their thirst with its salty, greenish blue-gray tea. Fishermen pole their canoes onto the shore. A scattering of market women selling beautifully arranged fruit, prepared foods, and water crowd the non-existent sidewalks. Taxis and countless motorbikes, or zimijans, honk in traffic jams. This scene was my introduction to Lomé. I wanted to run back to Douala, Cameroon, my last home, where it was a more organized jungle, a city of family and friends. However, I mustered up my innate courage based on my Liberian and African American bloodlines, which I felt had equipped me to live anywhere in Africa, if not the world. I inhaled deeply, taking in the dusty air, resolving at the same time that I would be happy and have a productive life here in Lomé. Running an insurance company kept me busy weekdays, but weekends were long and lonely. I had always wanted to make a puppet movie. My first puppet film, The Best Jungle Christmas, was launched in December of 2006. Children's film number 2 is my newest project. It is called King Original and is based on my book, The Elephant and the Lion. This story tells who the original king of the jungle was and how the 7 continents were formed. Patrick Akapo, an artist and animator whom I had worked with before on my last film, approached me with a new technique to make animated films. Together we formulated a plan of production. After explaining how I wanted the characters to look, Patrick sketched and made them out of the hard, spongy substance that is found in old refrigerators. Both of us designed and made the sets. Today, Patrick has called me to his studio to check on the progress of the film. Welcome to Patrick's studio. I'll let him take a few moments to explain the animation process that he's been on.
Là, nous sommes en train de faire tourner un plan, animer un plan. Après chaque mouvement, il faut faire une prise. Après la prise, on a le timing, on essaie de contrôler pour voir la fluidité de l'image. Et quand il manque des images, c'est-à-dire des images intermédiaires, bon, on le fait jusqu'à ce qu'on ait la bonne image en fait, la bonne expression de ce qu'on veut quoi.
I am absolutely thrilled with the work. Our puppets are so cute. I just love them. I laugh with delight, as I always do when I watch cartoons. Saturday is a day for shopping. There are no malls or shopping centers in Lomé. The few lady clothing boutiques that exist do not usually have what you want. There is, however, an interesting boutique that I must share with you. It has the most stylish clothes in town. Let me tell you that when I first saw it, I was thrilled. Finally, I would be able to buy ready-made clothes right here. The window displayed beautiful dresses and men's suits. You can't imagine my shock when I realized that it was a funeral boutique. The Togolese, particularly the Ewe tribe, which are the dominant tribe here in Lomé, believe that your last formal occasion on this earth is your funeral. So you must be dressed to the nines to attend it. Needless to say, today I am not preparing for my funeral. Even though I'm showing you this boutique, my best option is to get my clothes made by a tailor. This is what every woman does in Togo. There are steps to getting your clothes made. First, you must buy a piece of fabric, which is what I'm about to do. The Grand Marché of Lomé has every imaginable thing, from appliances to footwear, from canned goods to jewelry. Today, I am going to the African fabric section and have already decided to buy something that's not very expensive. These fabrics can range from 40,000 to 2,500 francs CFA, which is approximately anywhere from $100 to $6 for 6 yards. Having selected a stall, I choose a piece of fabric, pay for it, then head back to the car. My next stop is the tailor shop. His workshop doesn't look like much from the outside, but believe me, he can do magic with his fingers. Mark is his name. First, I look through his catalog and choose the outfit that I want him to copy. He looks at the cloth and then tells me if it will look nice in that style. It is a classic Chanel style suit. We decide to make the sleeves shorter and change the skirt to pants. I ask for pockets because my African skirt ensemble that I'm wearing today has none. Mark measures me. We talk about buttons. I give him a down payment towards the outfit of 5,000 francs CFA. He confirms that he'll be finished in a week's time. When I come to pick it up, I'll pay another 5,000. I have just shown you two very talented artists in Lomé. My stay has revealed to me that this is a city filled with all kinds of artists, talented ones. There are painters, carpenters, musicians, sculptors, and of course tailors and animation producers and film producers. This is what I love about Lomé. It is lunchtime and I have decided to share the chicest beach restaurant with you. It's called Cristal Plage. The restaurant has a Mediterranean bohemian feel to it. I enter and am seated with my friend, my secretary, and my son. We order and enjoy the view. The beach is covered with powdery white sand. Kites are flying on the beach. The ocean is friendly today, gurgling soapy smiles at all of us. Lunch is over. We head to one of Togo's hidden treasures. This is La Maison des Esclaves, or the Slave House. It is in Agbo-Drafo, a tiny beach community outside of Lomé. It is not a huge establishment like the Senegalese Gorée Island or Ghana Elmina's Castle or Benin's Ouida Slave Fort. Its importance comes from the fact that it was established after the slave trade was abolished in order to continue the sales of blacks. On approaching the broken-down deserted house, it is clear that it was once a beautiful one-story colonial house, constructed only a quarter of a mile in distance from the Atlantic Ocean. Walking along the side of it, there is evidence of a basement from the small half-circle windows at the foundation. Surprisingly, there is a tour guide who gives us an informative tour. We take the front entrance, where there are 2 columns. A few steps mount to a porch which extends to the full length of the house. This porch is decorated with arches to keep it cool from the glaring sun. The middle of the porch leads into the living room. The creaking noises of our footsteps are due to the warped strips of plank that make up the floor. Some are wobbly and broken from age. There are a few antique chairs lining the wall. In the middle of the floor is an opening, the 5-step staircase leading to the slave holding below, now the residence of cobwebs, bats, and rats. The luxurious wooden floor on the first floor is not found in the basement. There is only the ancient sand of centuries long gone. Our tour guide tells us how the slaves were caught, brought down from the interior of Togo, crossed over Lake Togo by canoes, and smuggled into residence in this house to wait for the ship. I could feel slight shivers march along my spine as I took a second look at the 24-inch arch-shaped holes that were at the base of the building. That was where they kept the slaves, under there in that cave that wasn't even 6 feet high. No words are needed to describe the emotions we felt. Sadness and claustrophobia, mixed with the musty smell of age and suffering, drove us out. I decided to retrace the last part of the slave journey by going to the lake. It was about 2 miles away. I stood looking at the lake, imagining the crossing of this idyllic blue body of water as captives to slave traders. I turned away and asked for somewhere close where we could have a drink and try and forget the images of the slave trade that were passing through our minds. Not far from where we were standing is a hotel called Hotel Le Lac. We step into the restaurant area, shrugging off the feeling of sadness and allowing the peaceful ambience of our new venue to seep into our pores. To our delight, the canoe rower is still around. I ask him to give us a ride. What a lovely way to end the day, sailing in a canoe, watching the sunset, not as a captive en route to the slave house. Thank God, it's year 2010.